Why don't we start first with Councillor Duran, who's joining us from virtually because he is under the weather. Councillor Duran, over to you.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I see what I think to be a few people there. I can see the tops of the heads of the front row, and I was really looking forward to addressing all of you in person, so I'm sorry I couldn't be there. But a few nights ago, Ken gave a presentation on behalf of SAFE, and I was thoroughly impressed with the depth of that presentation. I said it then and I'll say it now. I think that if council is at all interested in pursuing an AT plan for the city, and if this is the path we'd like to take, I really think we've been handed a plan potentially worth tens of thousands of dollars. If history is any indication, it's typical that, you know, to hire a consultant for a project of this magnitude, that's usually the kind of price tag that we're dealing with. So will there need to be amendments made by staff in order to truly make this work? Maybe, but maybe not. I think the foundation and more has been laid, and this just makes sense. I would certainly appreciate and expect that feedback from staff as to what may or may not work, and certainly as was asked during the presentation, it's important to explore what the province might be looking at, but I think we can pioneer this as a city. We've pioneered so many other initiatives. We've been cautioned about jumping into something without looking at those factors, and I appreciate that, but so much work has been done for us up to this point, and I think we owe it to the incredible number of residents and supporters and organizations of this initiative to get the ball rolling. So with all that being said, and with council support, I'd like to ask staff to begin the steps of adopting and implementing this plan.
We're open to comments from council first.
I have no issue with, personally, I have no issue with it going forward to staff for review and recommendations, and make sure that if there are any items in the plan that for whatever reason might not fit within the municipality, or issues that community services or tech services might see in there. I think to your point, there's been a ton of work done by Ken and his group. So there's definitely value in exploring the plan further, taking a real deep dive into everything in there. I'm sure Ken has lots of answers to some questions we would have. I'm sure JP and the community services staff, tech services, would have lots of questions of Ken and the plan and requirements. So I think it'd be a wise decision to at least utilize that plan the way it sits now and see how far we can move it down the line.
Yeah, and just along the same lines, I think it's a great idea that we continue to look at this and work on it and try to make it work and bring it to fruition. And I know it's a big plan, and it may not all happen, but at least it should be looked at. It'd be terrible if it just sat on the shelf somewhere and collected dust. So, you know, it's very important. I mean, healthcare is the biggest issue we have right now, and this is just another step towards helping people be healthy and setting up your city and make it a place that people want to be active in and come to. So I just agree, it's just a great thing, and if we can, whatever we can do to help, we should be doing.
I want to thank Ken for putting this together. Yeah, I'm 100% behind whatever it is that the staff can do to kind of pull this together. This is going to affect people from 8 to 80. So, good job.
Councillor Grant?
I also just want to make a comment. Ken, I do think you've put a phenomenal presentation together that will be really helpful for council. I think it sounds like a very important one because it certainly leads to activity, socialization for all ages, health, all of those things. The one question that I have is if the province is going to be looking at some type of like a provincial plan, and I know Councillor Dwyron has indicated that possibly the city could pioneer as a city like a municipal plan. I think it sounds really good. The only thing that I caution us on that we need information on that would help me as one individual council is that the comments that I have heard, I've polled around to some of the residents that I know that are very interested in biking. The one question that I do get is over costing. People were wondering about is how many people, say for example, would be from the municipality of Summerside, because eventually if it was something that the city pioneers, it's going to come onto our taxpayers in the form of tax increases, that sort of thing. So if we could get those kinds of numbers somehow, some way, I think that would really help us too, to get that information, so that we could answer that for any questions that the residents have. But I think it's an excellent program, and I hope that we can see that somehow a partnership moving together. Thank you.
Councillor Brown?
Yeah,
Yeah, can I say something?
I don't see why not.
Yes, to the rest of the fellow councillors, I listened to Ken's presentation and thought it was great, and I would have no problem with the council accepting the report and sending it off to tech services for a review and recommendation. I think it's a great start.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. And like we said before, Ken, the information and the time it took to compile that report, it was something else for sure, and it was very well received, and it was something you could understand. You didn't have to, try and dissect it. It was very easy and visual, so that helps. But I did want to ask, I noticed on the weekend that on the way west, there is a house that is accepting bikes for Safe Summerside. And I noticed at first when I was going by, I said, does that say Safe Summerside in the front yard? And then the next day when I went up again, I was like, I have to watch for it. So there is somewhere on the Western Road that's accepting bikes for, oh, it's you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, if you could just maybe, it's just so everybody can know, because I thought it was sort of neat that it was like quite a piece away. So yeah, thanks.
Yes, so this is Peter Collins. He's all the way from Ontario. He's come here to create joy and accessibility for the entire city. And as you can see, not just for Summerside, like across the province. So his vision, as SAFE, we had a vision that we want to be able to offer free transportation. Everything's rising in costs, etc. So if we can offer free transportation to get from point A to point B, phenomenal. In walks Peter Collins. He sees, I think it was an Instagram post. I think it was. And it just lit up my day. So I said, he's like the angel being sent down. He says, this is what I want to do, Ken. I said, get out of here, man, because this is what we want to do. So all the way, I have no idea who he is. Like, we're best buds now. Like, we're social media in every, minute or second. Not kind of crazy anyway, but anyway, it's phenomenal. And yes, he lives out there, so he's opening up a bike shop in Ellerslie. But the core of his belief is equality, right? Equality and access. So it touches to me, because I think when you're looking at, and I think everybody in this room, when you're looking at how to provide services, you want it to be equal and fair, right? And that's what he's doing. And now, let's just cut out the dollars. So not only can you take any bike you want to get rid of, right? We're partnering with the Summerside Free Store, right? He's going to repair them, right? He's going to maintenance, right? And bring them to the Free Store. And so anybody who wants a bike, talk to good old Belinda Woods, right? At the Free Store, and they can have a free bike, right? If it's adult or child bikes. He's got this lovely colored spreadsheet of it. Of course, I like the data, so it's really good. And it's wonderful. right? So offering free stuff, and it's the core of who we are and what we can do. So yes, although Safe Summerside isn't Summerside, you can see we're right out to Ellerslie, and yeah. So I think that's about it, eh, Peter? Awesome, sounds good. Thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you, Peter. Your sign was eye-catching, so I really appreciate that. So that's awesome.
Thank you, councillors. Thank you, members of the public. I think perhaps the best way to do this then would just be to propose a motion for council. And also to put this forward, a motion for council to accept the report as presented by Ken Trenholm and Safe Summerside, and to direct the CAO to work with Ken Trenholm and Safe Summerside to bring forward an official active transportation network plan for the City of Summerside for council's review, consideration, and potential adoption. Any councillors in support of that motion indicate by saying aye. Anyone opposed to that?
Aye.
Hearing none, then we look forward to hearing from staff and bringing forward an official active transportation plan for the City of Summerside. Thank you very much, Ken, and all of the people who are here with you, and people who have worked really hard on this. We're not there yet, but certainly a lot further down the path than we had before. So thank you very much.